Welcome to The Walking Dread, the show where we, well, kind of like to lean into the shadows a bit,
Yeah.
The places in fiction where things get a little too real, a little too close for comfort.
Yeah, those stories that make you double-check the locks at night.
Exactly. And tonight we've got two of those stories, both centered around people chasing something they can't quite reach and the terrifying lengths they go to get it.
It's a theme we see a lot, right? Desperation, pushing people right into the arms of something dangerous.
Absolutely. So first up, we've got Soul Trader, a story that revolves around this website. And it offers something pretty tempting, the chance to bring back the dead. But the payment, that's where things get scary.
Yeah, no kidding. No money involved here. The price is a year of your life for a year of theirs, like some kind of twisted equation of life and death.
Right. No haggling with demons or selling your soul, just straight up trading years. And we've got the story summary here, along with some excerpts that really get under your skin. When you first came across this premise, what was it that hooked you? What stood out?
I think it's the sheer brutal simplicity of that exchange. A year of your life for a year of theirs. It's just so stark, It cuts through all the usual supernatural deal-making and lays bare the terrible cost. And that makes Becca's desperation, her willingness to make that trade, so much more real and, frankly, terrifying.
Here, yeah, that immediacy of the consequence, it's truly chilling. No waiting around for some karmic payback. And then we've got Ethan, haunted by his friend's suicide, who stumbles upon this same website, and there's this undercurrent of guilt and shame that connects these early users. What do you make of that shared burden, and how does it amp up the horror?
Well, it creates this sense of a doomed community, doesn't it? Like they're all bound together by this terrible secret, this knowledge of what they've done. But instead of finding comfort in shared experience, it just adds to their isolation and fear. They're not just victims, they're complicit in this whole horrifying system.
And then the story throws us this curveball, this terrifying twist. Jess, the sister Becca brought back, vanishes again. And the website, well, it pops up with this chilling message: payment overdue, provide 5 new contracts. It's like they've become part of a pyramid scheme, but for souls.
Exactly. It shifts the whole dynamic, doesn't it? They're not customers anymore, they're recruiters. And we see this reflected in the excerpts, in their frantic search for new victims, and those chilling encounters with others who've clearly made the same deal. The prematurely aged mother, the boy hunched over with fatigue. It's like catching glimpses of their own future.
It's brutal, and their attempts to break free are just so futile, deleting accounts, smashing computers. But that digital tether remains. Becca can feel her sister's presence in her laptop, and her own body is aging rapidly.
How does this fusion of technology and the supernatural play into modern anxieties, do you think? It's like a nightmare scenario for the digital age. It taps into this fear that everything we do online, everything we share, leaves a trace, a connection that can be exploited. It's as if the internet itself has become a conduit for something sinister, and once you're in, there's no escape.
And then there's the societal response, the whispers of witchcraft, even though the story presents it as a pact with a digital devil. This blending of old fears with modern technology is so effective. What makes that combination so potent, do you think?
Well, it makes the supernatural feel immediate, doesn't it? Not some ancient myth, but a present danger lurking just beneath the surface of our everyday lives. It's like the devil has adapted, found new ways to tempt and exploit us. And that's a terrifying thought, especially in a world where technology is so deeply embedded in our lives.
And the ending, man, is just bleak. The teens are fading away, Jess is left with this horrific burden, and the cycle of desperation continues. The website thrives on the very grease it preys on. What's the lasting impression this story leaves you with about the dangers of seeking a second chance, of trying to cheat death?
It's a cautionary tale, right? A reminder that some things, some losses, are final for a reason, and that trying to defy that, to undo the natural order, can have devastating consequences, not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us. It's a stark reminder that grief can make us vulnerable, make us do things we wouldn't otherwise consider, and that the pursuit of the impossible can turn us into monsters ourselves.
So let's shift gears now, move on to a different kind of pursuit. Static Screams takes us into the world of paranormal investigation with a podcast crew called Skeptic Soundcheck.
Right.
They're on a mission to find definitive proof of the supernatural, and they choose an abandoned asylum as their hunting ground. Classic horror setup, right?
Oh, yeah. You've got the creepy location, the eager ghost hunters. It's a recipe for some serious chills.
Right. And the characters themselves, they fall into those familiar roles. Emma, the skeptic with a hint of unease, Jake, the tech guy picking up strange signals, and Ben, the true believer, hoping for undeniable evidence. It's a classic dynamic for a reason. What were your initial thoughts on these characters and what drives them?
It's a great setup for exploring different perspectives on the paranormal. You have Emma's skepticism, grounded in reason, Ben's unyielding belief, and Jake, somewhere in the middle, relying on his tech to bridge the gap. Plus, their ambition adds another layer to the story. They're not just ghost hunters, they're chasing viral fame and a potential reality show deal. It's a very modern motivation, and it raises the stakes considerably.
Absolutely. And their early exploration of the asylum delivers that classic horror movie atmosphere. Healing paint, a sense of lingering suffering, you know the vibe. And then there are those initial, potentially explainable events like EMF meter spikes and EVP failures. It's like the ghost hunting checklist. What do you think those initial events do for the story?
They create that sense of anticipation, that slow buildup of tension. Are these genuine signs of the paranormal or just the quirks of an old building and sensitive equipment? That uncertainty keeps us on edge, waiting for something truly unexplainable to happen. And when it does, it's all the more terrifying because of that slow burn.
And that moment arrives with Jake's discovery of those layered, distorted screams on his backup recorder. Their main equipment malfunctions, but the backup captures something truly chilling. And the way those screams are described as if they're trapped, caught inside the recording, it's just so unsettling. What do you think this detail adds to the overall horror?
It's the idea of containment, isn't it? It's not just ghostly sounds, it's the essence of suffering, of pure terror, captured and amplified by the recording. It turns the device itself into a source of dread, a vessel for something that should never have been contained.
And in a moment of pure panic, fueled by a desperate need for one last piece of content, they decide to record their final, unscripted episode. They're fleeing the asylum, terrified, but still driven by that instinct to document their experience. And their final upload from a truck stop becomes, according to the story, their last act in the physical world. What does that choice, that desperate broadcast, say about their motivations, about the nature of their pursuit?
It's a chilling reflection of how far they're willing to go, isn't it? Even in the face of genuine terror, their desire to capture proof, to create content, overrides their self-preservation. It's as if the pursuit itself has consumed them, and the truck stop upload becomes this haunting message in a bottle, their last desperate attempt to connect with the outside world before they're swallowed by the unknown.
And the aftermath. Well, it's just as unsettling. The abandoned truck, the smashed equipment, that unformatted hard drive. In their final podcast episode, it goes viral. But not for their theories or their investigation. It's those horrifying, evolving screams that capture the public's attention. What makes that unexpected virality so disturbing, so effective?
It's a cruel twist, right? They set out to find proof of the paranormal, and they end up becoming the proof themselves, their terror turned into a morbid spectacle. It highlights the unpredictable nature of online fame, how something so tragic can be twisted and consumed for entertainment. And the fact that those screams continue to evolve, to change within the recording, suggests that whatever happened to them is still ongoing, trapped within that digital artifact.
And then there are the diehard listeners, those who delve deeper into the recording, who manage to isolate Emma's final distorted plea within the static. It's that human element, that individual voice emerging from the chaos, that really chills you to the bone. Why is that detail so impactful?
Because it personalizes the horror, doesn't it? It reminds us that these aren't just spooky sounds, they're the echoes of real people experiencing unimaginable terror. That single voice, Emma's plea for help, cuts through the abstract and makes it viscerally real, reminding us that this is about lost lives, about suffering.
In the podcast itself, it becomes this cursed relic. Changing with each listen, the voice is growing clearer. And the asylum, it's not just an old building anymore. It's buzzing with trapped energy. It's as if the recording and the location have become intertwined, corrupted by the same force. What does this merging of the digital and the haunted say about the nature of the paranormal, about its reach?
It suggests that the boundaries between the physical and the digital are porous, that the supernatural can seep into our technology, corrupt it. It's a chilling thought, right? That the tools we use to understand the world can become conduits for something sinister, for something we don't fully comprehend.
And the sponsors, they pull out. The crew's fame curdles into infamy. It's the ultimate unintended consequence of their pursuit. They become, unwillingly, the very evidence they sought. What does their fate say about the ethics of chasing the sensational, of pushing boundaries in search of extreme content?
It's a cautionary tale about the price of fame, about the potential dangers of treating the paranormal as entertainment. Their ambition blinded them to the risks, and their pursuit of proof ultimately led to their demise. It's a sobering reminder that some mysteries are best left unsolved, and that some boundaries are there for a reason.
And the lack of bodies, the fact that all that remains are those spectral screams trapped in the recording, it's the ultimate confirmation of their fate. They didn't just record ghosts, they became them. And their desperate pleas have become entertainment, fuel for the spectral energy that lingers within their final broadcast. What struck you as the most unsettling aspect of their terrifying conclusion?
It's the idea that their suffering has become a commodity, something to be consumed and replayed for thrills. Their quest for proof turned them into victims, their terror immortalized in the digital realm. It's a bleak commentary on our fascination with the macabre, our willingness to turn tragedy into entertainment.
So we've got these two stories, Soul Trader and Static Screams, both dealing with very human desires. The need to overcome loss, the urge to understand the unknown. Soul Trader dives into the destructive nature of desperation, the terrible price of trying to cheat death, suggesting that the real monsters might be the ones we see in the mirror. And Static Screams warns us about the dangers of seeking answers in the darkness, hinting that some doors are best left unopened, that the truth can come at a terrifying cost.
And what connects them, what makes them so effective, is that they ground these timeless fears in contemporary settings, using technology to make the supernatural feel immediate, accessible, and all the more terrifying.
It's like those old stories, those myths and legends. They're not just relics of the past. They're reflections of our deepest fears, anxieties that still resonate in the digital age.
Yeah,
It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
it really does.
In a world obsessed with instant gratification, with finding irrefutable proof, are we all susceptible to those impossible promises, those whispers from the darkness? Are we willing to risk everything, even ourselves, for a glimpse of the unknown, for a chance to rewrite the past? Something to think about, right? As always, thanks for joining us on this journey into Walking Dread.
See you next time.
Stay spooky.